let's make some quick assessments here. So it's personality and then trust, the trust factor, where we at with the trust factor. So remember the personality that tells us how to talk to that individual, number one. It tells us the probability of him being a decision maker, number two. And then it tells us the likelihood of getting his significant other as a patient, number three. And then we also found out from the question, how'd they hear about us, the trust factor. So let's go into the personality. So we obviously want to eliminate who he's not first. So who he's not, you could tell by his low tone. So he sounds like an older man, but he still has low tone and soft words. So he's definitely not a high sanguine. He's not the life of the party. So that eliminates one. Let's see. So there's choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholy left. And let's see. I'm gonna leave those three alone right now. And as far as removing them, because I don't get a feel for that yet. But because of his tone and how soft he is and easygoing, I'm leaning toward phlegmatic already. That this guy's kind of a passive, easygoing phlegmatic. Now, if that's the case, that means they need a lot of reinforcement. You have to say things over. Number two is, they are the trickiest ones, because remember, phlegmatics do not like confrontation, so they'll agree with you with everything. Even if they don't understand something, they'll agree with you. So they're the trickiest ones, but we think they're the easiest because they agree with everything. So they need a lot of restatement reinforcement. And then, so we got to talk to them soft and easy. You got to go slow. Your tone's got to drop down, and you need a lot of reinforcement. And then, is he the decision maker? No, phlegmatics are not the decision makers. So we have got to pay a lot of attention to getting his spouse in for the report of findings in the decision maker, because it also leads to the other one. What's the potential of getting his spouse or significant other to as a patient? Well, it's pretty high, because he sounds like he's older. He's probably going to be married to somebody older. So let's say we're talking normal things here. I'm not being politically correct. So we're going to say that that it's a female. She's older, and remember, women generally have more problems than men anyway, and she's older. So she's older, so his spouse or significant other, the likelihood of her having a chiropractic problem, joint pain, neck pain, headaches, the main gateways, is very high. So we have a very high potential patient here. Now, what's the likelihood of getting her in? It may take a little more to get her. And remember, females, 87% of the females cut the checks in the house. So she's controlling the checkbook, and she's the decision maker, and it's a potential new patient. We got to pay a lot of attention to this. We've got to get her in. Now, because he's passive phlegmatic, and she's going to be stronger, I'm not going to be able to rely too much on him. So I'm going to go through him to make sure he brings her with him and changes his appointment to where she can make it, and have her come with him or meet him here on day 4. But in this situation, I would probably even consider giving her a call. And I'm going to do it on the 3rd day. So on the 2nd day, I'm going to request that he bring his spouse in. And on the 3rd day, I'm going to see if he's going to get her in or not, and he's probably not going to be able to give me an assertive yes. So on the 3rd day, I'm going to call her. I'm going to ask him to call from his cell phone, because we want his cell phone showing up on her phone, not my phone and not my office phone, because she doesn't know my office phone. A lot of times people don't answer the phone from a number they don't know. So I'm going to tell him, say, hey, whatever his name, forget his name, say, hey, do you mind if you just give her a call and let me talk to her for a second and ask her if she can make it to your report of findings? So he just gives her a call and hands me the phone. And all I'm going to do is say, hey, do you have just a second? This is Dr. So-and-so. Just wanted to share with you. We found there were some of the so-and-so came in with these problems. I don't know if you're aware of them. The main thing that I'm going to let her know is the problem and the ADL, the intensity and the ADL. Those are the three things that I want to say to her to get her to see that this is important. I don't know if you know, he's got this problem on a scale of 1 to 10. It was this. He said it was bothering him and restricting him with these particular activities of daily living. And we did do a complete examination. We're going to be going over all the results tomorrow. So is there any way that I can have you come in to go over those results so there's no confusion of what's going on with his health condition? That's what I'm going to say. So in this particular situation, I'm going to give strong consideration to giving her a call on day 3. Now, I'm not going to do it on day 2 because the relationship's a little fragile right now. He hasn't even committed yet to 3 days, but also it's a little fragile. And when I ask him, I want to feel him out. I'm going to, is he ham-hawing around or is he going to do it? So I'm going to nail it on day 3. That's when I'm going to go for the spouse on day 4 in this particular case. And that's why. So that's what we're looking at with personality. That's what we're looking at with how to talk to them. And that's what we're looking at with decision maker and the likelihood of them getting a patient. The last piece of the puzzle is, remember, you always want to know that how much trust is in the relationship when you get started. That's why we want to know the source. And so he said Facebook, Google. So now, which is interesting when he said Facebook. So Greg, I've got to ask you this. He said Facebook. So I'm assuming that he somehow got to your Facebook business page. And to do that, he had to know somebody that got on your Facebook page. So how did he get on your Facebook page? Do you know?
No, I didn't have that.
Do you understand what I just said?
Yeah.
Because when you have your own business page, you have to typically you invite customers. People are not going to randomly just typically go to somebody's business page. And so that's very, 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 very rare, especially patients. So for him to say Facebook, I'm sitting here going, he had to somehow be connected to your page, and to be connected to your page, he almost had to know somebody that was a past patient that's on your page. Meaning there's some kind of third-party trust. But you didn't go that far. You didn't dig that far. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
So do we know anything further about his connection besides Facebook and Google?
No, it could have been through an ad we did a month ago. But
Okay.
I didn't really ask.
Now you said words that just really disrupt me. So what's the word we never can accept when we're owners, Greg? You're an owner. You're a CEO. What's a word you cannot accept again in your life? Could have been. You can't guess. You're an owner. You can't get. You got the luxury of guessing when you're an employee. You don't have the luxury of guessing when you're an owner. There's no such thing as could have been. You have to find out. You got to go. You got to get definites. You got to get yeses and nos. You're the CEO. There's nobody above you. So yeah, we needed to know, but it sounds like that's probably the case. If you were doing Facebook ads, it sounds like that's the case then. So we know it's in all probability a cold call. So we have a cold call, but he has been to a chiropractor before and there was no other problems, which is good. And also remember, we know that if they've been to a chiropractor before, in all likelihood, they're totally uneducated on the 3 phases of healing and what their care is based on. That's what we can almost be guaranteed. So we have a cold call, passive phlegmatic, older guy. So he's got problems. So we got to pay a lot of attention here and do a good job because he's a cold call and he's a passive phlegmatic. Okay, so let's keep going here. So that's the assessment 50 seconds into the evaluation.